Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, and the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, beautiful viewers. Today's reading is going to be a beautiful reading. We're looking at what message is your angel team and your spirit guides trying to communicate to you? What are they trying to deliver to you? And we will ask spirits to deliver a clear and concise message here for this pick a card. We'll pick the first card together, and then we'll pick a charm, and we will do the same with pile 2 and pile 3. So if at any point you're intuitively guided to any one of these cards, the timestamp will be in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It'll take you directly to your pick. I'm seeing pick number 1 right here. And yeah, we'll see what your angel team and your spirit guides are trying to communicate to you. Pick number 2, and for pick number 3, we will be flipping these over as well shortly. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3. I will reveal these and then we will get into the charms as well. For option 1, we have synchrotron, sorry, 39, or the number 12, or the number 3 reduced. So any one of those numbers could be synchronistic to you in any sort of way. Synchrotron, wow, okay. Option number 2, we have 45 with lapis exilis. You can read that. Exilisis. 45. So we have number 9. Beautiful gold flow. Awesome. And option number 3, we have the Diva Magic. Well, that one was easy to say. Number 42, or the number 6. Looks like an eye in the middle of this. Actually looks like a storm in the middle of this rose. All right, Diva Magic. So let's pick the charms and see what we have. So for option 1, Synchrotron, we have the 2 swans. 2 swans. Oh boy. Okay, for option 2, we have the trombone. No. Tuba. Oh my goodness. Tuba, I think. No. Oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? I think this is a trombone. I'm going to look this up as soon as I pause it, because I don't think a tuba has all those guts on the inside. All those windy things here. Okay, well, it's either a tuba or a trombone. All right. Option 3. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have this little lock, and it looks like pretty intricate. It's closed. It's a closed lock. Okay, well, very interesting readings indeed. I'm going to move this out of our way. So I will leave the video running for a bit. Please use your intuition, okay? What you will see, feel, or hear, that's going to determine to you and confirm to you that this is indeed your message. I'm only confirming what you intuitively already know. This shouldn't be anything that is absolutely surprising or new to you, okay? And if multiple piles are calling to you, that could certainly be that there's multiple aspects, messages here that your angel team is wanting to communicate with you, okay? So I will leave the video running, sit with this energy, and then I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, my beautiful pile one. I'm sorry for that frumpy start. I was going to re-record and I was like, no, I already picked these cards. I don't know. My energy seems a little off here. But I will do my very best here to communicate what your angels and your spirit teams trying to communicate with you. You guys picked 39 with synchrotron, which I'm assuming is like synchronicities here. I'm mostly going to be picking up energy. And then we have the two swans here, which is all about love and grace. And two swans is about connection, soul connection. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an intimate connection with someone per se. It could be just our soul speaks out to something, okay, that we're connecting with on a soul level. So we're going to take a look at what is it that your angel team is wanting to communicate with you. We have pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not picked too many for this reading because we will be mostly using the tarot. And I cannot wait to share with you guys. This is the Tarot of Oneness by Robin Voicey, which I picked up on Etsy. And these are probably my favorite, I say that all the time, but honestly, like my favorite tarot deck, and that's saying a lot because I have probably over, I don't know, like 400 tarot cards, or 400 tarot decks. So wait till you see these beauties. I cannot wait. I shuffled them pretty good. We'll shuffle them throughout this reading, but you guys are maybe not tarot enthusiasts, so you don't really care too much. But we will be tapping into what this message is here, okay? So I'm going to take my time here to get the energy right, so that we can deliver this message. Now, it looks to me like this person is either really, really tall or riding some sort of animal here. So, let's see. Let's reveal your oracle cards, shall we? So we have the Eight of Water. This is the equivalent of the Eight of Cups in traditional tarot. So I will read the words, although we were mostly picking energy. It says, a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual, and emotional growth. Okay. Interesting body language here, because this looks like a shadow of an elongated person, although this one happens to be a mermaid. It's very similar. Okay. We have the Eight of Air with all these unicorns. This is equivalent of the Eight of Swords, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. Okay, lots of blue. Blue is throat chakra, which is all about how we communicate and how we listen as well. All right, we have the ear. Yes, good news. I was talking about listening. Again, we don't put too much weight into the words so much. I do read them. I do take them into account, although it is mostly the energy that we sit with. So ear. Okay, and then we have the barking dog. Advice from a friend. Dogs are all about friendship, loyalty. Although a barking dog sometimes could be a little bit of an irritant, and then the fact that we have good news and someone delivering sounds like communicating something here with all the blue. And we have a key. Oh my goodness. Successful outcome to your problems. So a key is all about solutions. Very ornate. So I am being drawn to pile 3 only because the ornateness of the key, and in pile 3 we have a lock, which is quite synchronistic here because a key could certainly open up that lock. So there might be a second part here to your reading. Okay, only for those of you guys who were called to do that in spirit. Certainly likes connecting energies in my piles. Like you guys have nothing better to do than watch 2 hours of this tarot reader lady. Okay, I don't do it on purpose. I honestly don't know. I wish I could deliver your message in 8 minutes and be done. That's actually my goal, but, well, we'll see. I just want to deliver the message is what I want to do here, and it just happens to take me forever. All right, so we have, I don't know, I'm oversharing. This is interesting reading. I might not even post this reading. Okay, we have 41 here with power struggle. You may be involved in a power struggle between 2 or more people. Okay, 41 and 5. 5 is certainly about conflict, challenge, change, but 5 is where a situation shifts because sometimes we have to get to it cracking open in a way so that we can move to an easier step or stage in the connection or the situation. In fact, we have power struggle here, and this barking dog is kind of giving me same energy-ish. And the fact that we have people coming up through here, I do feel there's other people sort of involved here. Okay, we have 74, or the number 11. It says increase. You have successfully manifested something near and dear to your heart. Wow, okay, and 11 could be the number 2, which is all about choices and options. 11th house is all about friends, groups, humanitarianism, hopes, wishes, the future. Okay, 74. Let's slide her over so we can fit one more here before we pull the tarot. We have pause. You're being asked to pause before making a quick decision and moving forward. Allow yourself to step back. Look at all the possible outcomes and make sure you're headed in the right direction before moving forward. While we were picking up, this person was kind of headed, and that's my doggy, towards moving forward here. So I was sensing movement. Obviously, 8 of Cups is also about emotionally sort of moving away from something that's not fulfilling. Okay, but 8 of Swords is a stuck energy. So I'm fidgeting with those. Let's now pull some tarot here, okay? Let's pull tarot, and then we'll get into your message. So, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. What are their angels, their spirit team trying to communicate to pile 1? What is this message? What are they trying to fill pile 1 in on? What is this message? I'm going to give it a good shuffle just because, like I said, these are fairly new. Although I did shuffle them pretty good beforehand. Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. Alrighty. So, we have the 7 of Swords, the Leopard, and we have the Magician, and I'm going to keep them as they come out. This Magician is in reverse. Okay, we have all the elements there. Look how beautiful these cards are. 7 of Swords and the Magician. Okay, Magician is Mercury energy, which is about communication. That is Virgo and Gemini energy. Now, you don't have to be a Virgo or a Gemini. Aside from me just picking up the Mercury energy here with communication and all this throat chakra. Then we have the ear, which is all about listening. Okay, so we'll pull some more. Spirit, what is this message for pile 1, Spirit? Clear and concise message. Can we kindly get a little bit more for pile 1 here? We have the Inspiration of Wands. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Wands. And it is in reverse. So take a look at that beautiful rainbow up there with all those butterflies. Inspiration of Wands. We have crystals here. This looks like, I don't know what sort of crystal that is. Looks like clear quartz and obsidian. And then the butterflies, we also have what looks like a lizard here and some dragonflies. Dragonflies, all about seeing through an illusion, and butterflies are all about change, freedom. We have the lizard. Lizard can be about adapting. It could be about kind of blending in. We have stars there as well. Stars could be Aquarius energy and about our wishes and our hopes. So let's pull some more. Spirit, clear and concise message here for beautiful pile 1 2 cards. We have the Six of Cups in reverse. Look how beautiful that is. Six of Cups in reverse. I'm getting that friendship energy coming through. And then we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Beautiful little otter there, floating away with a dove in the water. Okay, dove's all about peace. And then we have the lotus flowers. Okay, and the lotus flowers represent when we're in tough situations and we're still able to blossom, bloom, be reborn here. Okay, so I didn't think I'd have this many cards to be reading from, but I guess I do. Let me just grab my wand here and take a minute to sit with this energy, and then I will channel what it is that I'm picking up here. All right. What are your angels and spirit team trying to tell you? I think you're trying to make something work here. You're trying to connect here, I feel, okay? And you feel kind of stuck. And I feel you feel stuck because there's a way that you are trying to attain a certain outcome in a connection, okay? This could be any connection. This could be, you know, a deep, intimate, romantic connection. This could be a long-time friendship. This could be a family member. This can be in all types of connections, how you are as in general here, which is why your spirit team's wanting you to communicate, or wanting me to communicate this. It's an energy of fearing being exposed in a way, okay? So certainly could be a fear of being intimate with people or revealing ourselves. And so, because we're unable to believe that we're able to be vulnerable and exposed and share of ourselves, we then get into certain dynamics with people where we feel sometimes very overwhelmed, but we also aren't quite sure how to manage the connection or the relationship or the situation. So it feels like it overwhelms us. I'm getting a very overwhelmed feeling here. So because we get overwhelmed, we repeat some sort of cycle here where we pull back and we're very limited with what we reveal of ourselves. We then feel left out and alone. And then we get stuck. So we want connection with people. This could be, like I said, it could be, you know, when we get to a certain point, maybe an intimacy or sharing, but it could just be having to be, you know, someone's friend, and start to open up and give in a way that, you know, is emotionally fulfilling for us and for the other side. And what I'm feeling here is that we might have experienced something in childhood or in a past connection here in the past that hasn't allowed us to release some sort of experience that we had. So we perpetuate sort of a more stealth-like is kind of what's coming up here, a more closed-off energy here. And so what we try to do to compensate here is I think we try to compensate in a different way in a connection, however it might be, which I don't see here yet. And so we come off as somebody here who might be trying to, it seems a little ingenuine in a way, okay, not that people think you're completely ingenuine, but I mean an ingenuineness here of who you truly are. So I feel like people don't really see who you truly are here because of your heavy control, manipulation of what you want to be seen as, so that the true version of who you are on the inside stays safe, protected from being exposed. And so I feel this causes conflict because I do feel like people around you might feel as though they are shut out or that you are not trusting them in some way. And so I do feel you're withdrawn, and I do feel like you go into a space to sort of, I don't know, like compensate in some way, but I feel like it's a space where people are shut out from. And I don't feel like this is just one connection. I feel like this is a thing that you do. And I'm also getting a message here that it could be that you experience this in some very significant relationships or friendships that probably went awry at some point in time. And when I say awry, it's like it didn't manifest how you wanted, so it kind of just built this complex a little more, a little less confidence in yourself. And so there could be a few friendships that you could have still maintained in some way if you were aware of some sort of pattern here. And so I feel like as this happens, the experience still stays with you, and it's painful because then when we get into another experience, we remember losing out or experiencing something, so we're even more in the energy of being closed off in some way, or trying to control things even more so we don't repeat the same thing. But what we're doing is being even more cautious and stealth-like rather than just allowing ourselves to flow with energy. I'm feeling there's a significant connection here, okay? And I think that this is coming up from your angels because I do feel it is around you. And you'll know what this is. Like I said, does not necessarily have to be an intimate person here. It could just be something testing your, not necessarily testing, but bringing this up in you again. What your angel team's trying to tell you. This thing that's coming up again. And it's being highlighted again because I feel like you want to connect here. And I think you want to have things go differently than how they normally go here. And so I feel like the big struggle here is to communicate authentically and to allow yourself to allow others in. To be seen for who you are truly, and not the way you want to be seen because you feel as though this is how they would rather see you. Because this passes off as something that's ingenuine. So I feel as though what's coming through here is that you get to know your situation, your circumstance, your people, your friends, whoever these people are in your life in the past. And then once you understand these people or read them, because you could be quite intuitive here, then you allow yourself to be in an energy that you feel is presentable with these people, person, situation that reflects back to them something you feel would be what they want to see, so that you're welcomed and you're more like them in a way they understand. But what you do is kind of turn your back on your authentic self. So this is interesting because for a long time now, when I do these readings, we keep getting the same message of being our authentic self. I feel like this is going in a layer deeper as to what our angels are showing us is the message they're trying to tell you as to maybe the root cause of why the authenticity or the authentic self, the self that wants to be accepted, will have a hard time here within ourselves, because if we put out an energy that isn't who we truly are and feeling in the moment, although we are presenting as an individual here to be loved by another, and we reflect to them what we think we have to be, and they accept us, so we feel the acceptance or the love from them on the surface, it never reaches us deep down. Because the deep down person of who we are has never really been revealed enough to be accepted and loved. And I do feel this originated from a past experience here, maybe where we felt we revealed ourselves and were rejected, or we didn't feel appreciated or welcomed, or it created conflict. So we want peace. We don't like conflict, I feel here. And so we feel if we're our authentic self, then in conflict arises, then it becomes we're not going to be loved, or we're not good enough for that person or that situation. And so it's a way of protecting ourselves, because if we show up in a way that we think the other person or people want to see us, one, it's a better chance of being accepted. And two, it protects us, because if it doesn't work, then that situation or that person didn't get to see our truest self. So it doesn't feel like a rejection so much. But what's your angel team's showing, and as we probably know already intuitively, if we are in our genuine authentic self and we're not seen or appreciated for who we are, then that is not your soul tribe. And that being who you are, the unique version of who you are, with differences and all, even if it's not the same as the people that you're surrounded by, it will be embraced by other people who are just as authentic as you are. Okay, and the ones that don't want to appreciate you for who you are or see challenge in that, if you're stepping up in love and stepping up in authenticity and it's not welcoming, then these people are on a different vibration than you. So your true happiness lies with the ones who might be completely different than you, but appreciate your uniqueness as you would appreciate theirs. And when we are around people where we try to please them in some way or reflect to them what we think they want to see, for those people who can kind of see through this or can gauge, it does come off as authenticity. Comes off as somebody who is trying to kind of pull the wool over their eyes, so they could become very defensive. You know, it's like if you were around someone here who you felt was not being themselves and they were being someone that they thought you wanted to see, you would not take that very kindly. You would be offended in some way. Some people are offended, some people don't see it. Okay, but it is there, and so it causes challenge, because the true authentic people who we probably want in our lives are the ones that would probably not necessarily take offense to it, but would not accept being around people who are not allowing themselves to be open, who are trying to impress, or, and I don't even know so much if it's impressing or just an acceptance, wanting to be accepted here, okay? So we might not know why we do this, like I said, but it is your angels saying that the true emotional fulfillment you are seeking here, the self-love that you're feeling you're not really getting here, is because if it never makes an appearance, it can't be ever truly loved because it isn't visible. And that by trying to be in a certain way, we're causing the opposite here of what we want. So again, coming back to, there is a connection I feel here, whatever is coming to mind here, that is being pulled to right now, this part of yourself, in order to get you to see this about yourself. And you might not be seeing it because, again, this is something that maybe we've buried in some way, or maybe you know all about you doing this, but you're not sure why it's a thing. So with the pause here, I feel like Spirit is asking you to really be present in how you're showing up. And when you acknowledge yourself trying to align to the differences or the uniqueness or the other person, what you think they'd rather see in you, to just pause, okay, and really just take a look at where this is stemming from, and then allow your natural self to accept that if you were to come out, whatever sort of happens there, okay, is not going to be a reflection of you so much as however this other person is perceiving you to come out. Now let me say that again so it makes sense. If we are in a certain way and we're not accepted, and it's our true self, it isn't a reflection that we're doing something wrong. It is a reflection that the other side does not know how to receive what it is that we're putting out. So it is not about you being rejected so much as it is how this person could receive you. And that's all about them. And they have their own experiences and lessons here. So once you understand that you're not being rejected, even if the other person or the other side is outrightly conflicted or showing some sign of non-agreement, it doesn't mean for you to have to shift and change and align yourself to fit their story. It means the people around you, your soul tribe, is going to have to shift, to change, to support you. And because it shouldn't be a strong effort to keep up to be yourselves. It should be fulfilling, and it should be less of a struggle. Because I would imagine this would make us feel kind of empty, and it would make us feel alone. And it wouldn't matter how many people are around us, we'd always feel alone because we're not seen for who we are. And so we might have to go back to see where this originated, although I don't think we necessarily do so much as our spirit team is saying. Just be aware that at some point we felt we were ourselves, we were vulnerable, we were authentic, we communicated a version of ourselves that might have not have been accepted. And it wasn't because it was wrong, it was because the other side was unable to support us. And that had nothing to do with you. Although it caused here this complex in some way, okay? But to really just pause and think about that. Because we might be on autopilot here, acting from some subconscious hurt place. And so I do feel like there is something coming in here in way of news or communication, and I mean, we have advice from a friend, we have good news, we have this key, a solution to a problem. Like, I don't know if there's some energy coming in here to help you to see this. And it could certainly be this connection, because I feel like there's a soul connection here that's being mirrored in some way, reflected to you, in which you're learning this potentially, because I think your spirit team's really wanting you to see this story about yourself, but maybe this other side is also in some sort of lesson of self. And it could certainly be in pile 3. So if you are dealing with another person or a situation here in which there's 2 sides, potentially you might want to go check out 3, or it could be just a deeper layer here in this message for those of you guys resonating with this message. I feel like this is your message, although I have to read this. This is a new deck for me, and the fact that I can't even say synchrotron without snickering. Sorry, I certainly wanted to see. Now, if this is a very long message, then I'm going to read the whole thing, but I do want to see if we got some more, although intuitively this is certainly the message that's coming through, okay? But I do feel as though there's more here. There's more here, I feel, okay? But let's see. What's 39 about? It doesn't look too long. Okay, so we have synchrotron. Am I the only one that finds it funny? Okay, so it says infinite possibility. It says, think outside the square, beyond the limit of your thoughts. It is possible to think through your heart. Oh my goodness, beautiful. Try it. Infinite possibilities exist inside you. There are ideas and creative solutions from beyond your physical reality. You can create all of your heart's desires. Feel the imaginative impulses transmitted from beyond space-time. There are worlds within worlds and entire universes within a particle of light. Through this card, you can see and randomly create. This is a card of joyful creation. All you wish to be can now be. Keep the greater good of all in mind, and let there be love in all that you do. To see the world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. By William Blake. Okay, so just so you guys know, pile 3 had the rose, and it was talking about seeing in the flower here. Okay, so I do feel very strong pull to 3. But what I was really getting was, from the heart speaks the authenticity, and from the mind speaks the one that's trying to create a version of ourselves that needs approval. And so when we're acting from the mind here, we are thinking a lot. So it's very tiring here, okay, power struggle. We're thinking of how we have to react, of who we have to show up as. But again, well, it's repeating that authentic heart space where we're genuinely being self and allowing ourselves to feel from a place. That's when we feel very exposed, right? Because like I said, it's no longer having that protection. If we're not approved, then it's not the real true self that gets rejected, but the self that we created from a mind space of who we thought we needed to be. And here's something coming up as well. For as many people who are going to approve of you being how you think, because again, you must admit you don't know everything, so you can take your best guess, okay, from your mind space of how you think you need to be, and you might still get rejected by the same amount of people who would reject you for coming out from a heart space. And now the rejection feels differently, because when we're rejected from that place, it causes maybe even a different type of complex where we don't trust in our own ability to see through things or intuitively to call situations out here. So I feel like this protection from rejection, we're still experiencing rejection, but on a different sort of level. And maybe it's not as deep or hurtful because it's not the heart space, but that's what connection is about, being intimate and open from the heart space here. But we might experience the same amount of rejection here, but in a different way. Because some people might like our authenticity and connect to it, and others might not. But I will tell you that although some people might not like the authenticity, the true self, those people are not your soul tribe and have not yet ascended to a level of appreciating authenticity. Because people who are very comfortable in their authenticity would never say, I don't like that person because they're authentic. I've never heard that. I've heard, I don't get along with that person or agree with that person or like that person because they are not genuine. So when we're authentic, when we scream from a place of trueness, we are appreciated by a whole lot other group of people, even if it is completely unique and different, because it is through the uniqueness and the differences that other people see, and it inspires them to be as unique and different in their own way, because no one can match that specific, unique, creative way that you are. So you are appreciated ever more. You're not easily replaced because you are very different. Okay, so that message was coming through, and yeah, I like this reading for you guys. I hope this helped provide some insight into this. Let me know in the comments. I love you guys so, so much. I hope you guys are enjoying this new moon energy, and I'm so glad you found your way to me. All right, I will see you at pile 3 if you go check that out. If not, then that's absolutely cool too. I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my most gorgeous pile 2. That was a funny intro. I hope I can do your reading justice here. I cannot wait to use my new tarot cards here with you guys. My first time using them for pile 1. They're absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to show you. And yeah, one was quite interesting here. We're looking at messages from your angels and your spirit team. What are they trying to communicate to you? What do they want you to know here? Okay, and so shame on me for thinking this was anything other than a tuba, because my son played tuba for quite some few years, and this is certainly a tuba. Okay, so the tuba, first thing that came to me was harmony. Okay, being in harmony, and it's the lowest pitch, you know, in an orchestra here of the brass instruments. So it really provides the harmony, the undertone. But tuba does represent battle and war as well, with the tuba symbolism here. Okay, going to war, going to battle. So I believe they would play the tuba. So war to me is about conflict, two sides, and this card here is giving me, well, this is a new deck for me, and we might read this in a bit, but what I was feeling here was still being able to flow through something here, and accepting some sort of the bad with the good. Okay, like I'm getting seeing things from all angles in a way here to still be successful through something, like how we perceive something is really going to impact how we accept something, or how we're able to be successful through something. This is like the gold river here flowing. It says lapis excelsis. Exilsis, I don't know how to say that, but we'll see. Okay, so 45 and the number 9. 9 is about endings, you know, when we talk about 9. The 9th house is all about travel, wisdom and philosophy. It's higher education, religion. The tuba can also represent a religion in as well. So, I mean, I'm getting strong Hierophant, and I'm getting strong Hangman. So let's see, okay? Let's see what's coming through here, but it is a beautiful energy I'm feeling. We're gonna reveal the oracle cards I have not looked at. Okay, I just shuffled them. I've not seen these. It's mostly energy, although I do take into consideration some of the words here, but it's mostly the energy, so don't put too much weight into words. And then we will pull some tarot as well. I do not have too many cards here this time. Trying to do these a little differently here so I don't spend too much time pulling cards so much as energy from the right cards, and hopefully this comes through. It certainly worked for one, I think. So let's see. We have the 4 of Earth, which is 4 of Pentacles energy. Okay, being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. So again, not too much weight on the word so much. I'm feeling strong earth energy and water. Okay, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces coming through. We have fire, 8 of fire. This is the 8 of Wands. So events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. Now we're getting fire. So you certainly can have heavy placements in your chart of all these signs so far. This is Aries, Leo, Sag energy. Okay, let's see. We have lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry. Oh my goodness. Lightning. Apple. Temptation will test you. Okay. Religion coming through again. Interesting. I don't know why religion's coming through. That doesn't have to be a message for everyone, but I am picking up some sort of religion here. Okay, eagle. Triumph over troubles and obstacles. Eagle is about perception as well. That's coming through with this card. Seeing the bigger picture. Could be ascension, how we see things here from a greater point of view. Eagle represents divinity and, like I said, vision. We have ring. A marriage will take place, either romantic or business. Oh my goodness. So if this isn't, if this isn't in an intimate romantic, or it could be a business contract of sorts, some sort of greater commitment to something here is coming through. Okay, so we have 37 with fear, or the number 10. 10 again is about an ending to make way for a new beginning. The 10th house is about career. Okay, so this could be for some of you guys. Also about reputation or public image, masculinity, fathers, men in general, structure, experts. It's also could be fame, the 10th house. Okay, so this says your fears are keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve. Okay, that's kind of this energy, Four of Pentacles energy. And then we have time to lighten up with 38, number 11. So we go 10, 11. You may be taking life too seriously. So 11 could be number 2, which is, the 2s are all about choices, but it could be balance. What I'm feeling mostly is the two sides of a coin, or two sides to something here with the perception. Okay, it's that how we see something, because I feel like we're having to see something a little differently here. Okay, and then we have check-in. It says when you think about whatever it is that you're pondering, take a moment to check in with how you feel about it. Do you feel lighter or heavier? Excited or filled with dread? Pay attention to your inner guidance. It's always so helpful. Oh my goodness, you guys, what I just got. I don't know why I didn't see this before. Earth, fixed, held back. Okay, hanging on, held back, being a little bit too cautious, not wanting to take risk. 8 of fire, 8 wands, allowing energy to flow, release, forward movement, very fast. Very opposite. Fear, held back. Too afraid to move forward, lighten up, being open. Okay, being in a more of a energy of openness rather than constricted. Okay, so we got opposites here. I was feeling it from this. Okay, and then like I said, the battle. When we're in battle, there's two sides to a war generally, and I don't know why war's coming through, but it's like a war. There's the side that's good and bad, or the good fighting the bad, or, you know, one belief and another belief here. And then control your anger, you'll be sorry, and then a marriage will take place. It's kind of like two different sort of things, seeing eye to eye and coming together, or kind of being struck here and falling apart. Okay, this could be Tower energy. So, harmony. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just kind of getting into trying to read a little differently here. A little more in depth is kind of what I'm going for with less cards, even though this still looks like a lot of cards to me. Okay, we're going to pull the tarot. Okay, so we're going to ask Spirit for a clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Spirit, clear and concise message here for pile 2. Can we kindly get a little bit more information in regards to what are their angels, their spirit team, trying to communicate with them? What do they need to know? Thank you so, so much. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. And thank you so much, Pal 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. All right, so Tower energy coming out. I will read them this way. So Tower, look how beautiful these cards are. Like, these are going to be my most favorite cards ever, which is saying a lot. Love, 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 love these. And I don't know if I showed you guys, but I'm going to show you again if I didn't. The Tarot of Oneness by Robin Voicey. And I got these on Etsy. So I'm not pushing anyone that I know because I have no idea who this is or what this is. I just came across it on Etsy and had to have it. And now I'm absolutely in love with these cards. They feel so beautiful. Okay. So the Tower, lightning. Okay. And then we have 10 of Cups. Oh my goodness. You guys, did I not say the opposites here? Okay. Tower. Like, look at this. Okay. A lot of fear. This is like, you know, some people fear this more than the death or the devil in the tarot because the Tower is shocking, a turnaround of events here that kind of leaves us sometimes with nothing. It's like the bottom, hitting rock bottom in some way. I'm not saying you are, okay? I'm just saying the energy of Tower sometimes because everything falls away. 10 of Cups is the polar opposite here, okay? This is like the ultimate emotional fulfillment. This is sometimes pie in the sky happiness because it's our idolized version of being completely happy. So we've got the 2 here. Interesting. All right, now we have the High Priestess in reverse. Look at this beautiful card. High Priestess is Pisces energy. That is in reverse. Okay. We have the Inspiration of Cups, and this is the Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Yes. Okay, in the upright. And then we have the 9 of Swords in the reverse. 9 of Swords, anxiety. Look at that. Nightmares, okay? That's kind of giving me this needing to see a situation differently here, the perception. And then we have the 4 of Wands, and that's in reverse. 4 of Wands is this commitment card because that's coming together. Union could be the marriage card here. Now, this is in reverse as well. Okay. So, let me sit with this energy because lots was coming through, but I don't know that I'm seeing exactly what this is just yet. And it might take us a little bit to kind of get to the message. So, just let me sit with this for a little bit. I feel like I need more, although I'm going to try my best to not pull tarot just yet to see if we could come through this. But I feel like I'm kind of getting a so what here. So I don't know. We'll see what the so what is. So what I'm really feeling here is there is a situation here. And I feel like it is very turbulent because I do feel as though you can go from being extremely happy and in harmony and still have one foot out because you might be fearing and experiencing the opposite of that. Let down, fear, or like something would just fall apart or take it away in some way. And so I feel like there isn't ever a full ability to enjoy the happiness or the moments that is in harmony. Because when the moments are happening that we're supposed to be enjoying, we're too fearful of the disappointment, and we're too fearful of it falling apart, or we're too fearful that it's too good and then it's going to be crap because the good comes with the bad. So if we're experiencing good, we can't quite enjoy the good knowing that the bad is about to follow. So technically, all we're experiencing is anxiety and suffering in the moment. And then the suffering is kind of like the self-fulfilling prophecy, because eventually we do have an experience where something happens that kind of proves to us what we kind of thought. So my so what wasn't because you were feeling this, because this is a horrible feeling, and I could feel it could be quite draining and quite unfulfilling, and we never really fully allow ourselves to experience something. So that wasn't my so what, but the so what here for me was, why are the angels telling you this? Why are you being told this? Because I feel like you kind of know this. So we're going to have to peel the layers back here. We know perception is how we're seeing something. We know and we say to be in the moment. Being present means not living in the future of what's to come or what could happen, and not hanging on to the past, what's happened before. Because when we live in the past and in the future, we're not present in what's in front of us. So we're always either in a state of anxiety, okay? And if we're in heavy anxiety, it's because we're anticipating something in the future. And if we're feeling held back, and if we're feeling sort of lack, then we could be living in the past, which is an experience we had that we don't want to repeat. And so I do feel like there is something here that might have triggered this with this Four of Wands and this ring. Okay, because I do feel there is something trying to come together here. Like I said, could be a romantic connection. It could be us finally taking that business off the ground, making something work finally here. That's been our big dream. And the bigger the thing means to us, the more anxiety we feel, the more fear we feel, the more we start to hang on to things that keep us safe. And what Spirit is showing is that when we are in that energy, we don't make space. And then when something happens with the lightning in the tower, the fall is a lot bigger. The ramifications of something not working is taken a lot harder. Because in life, there is duality, as we know. Because without the dark, we could never see the good. Without the bad, we could never experience what true goodness is, right? If we don't experience sadness, then we don't necessarily know what happiness feels like. But when we are experiencing something we would consider as negative, we don't have to totally bathe in the negativity of it, and we could see this as something that is temporary and is something that is teaching us something, as an opportunity. And it could trigger us into, how can we make something of this to see the positive? And I know we don't like toxic positivity and trying to make positive things out of things that are hurtful. Okay, this is not about toxic positivity at all. And those who know me know that that's not at all what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is that there is such a thing as, when we experience something we do not necessarily feel good about inside of us, we can chase up on that thought and that feeling and energetically charge that more. And when it passes, because eventually bad things pass, they don't continuously unfold forever and ever, right? There's always good and bad. I'm not saying that it's, not a long period of time of suffering. It could certainly be, but whatever the state is, we know that goodness comes in. And so when the goodness comes in, we're supposed to be checking in and say, is our mind still attached to the negativity and what has happened, or the bad part? Or are we present and in the moment of what's in front of us? Because I feel as though what your angels are telling you here is that you are experiencing more of the suffering and loss, even in times where the universe is delivering something here that could be beautiful. And when we charge the negative, okay, because we could have just a fearful mind, we might have a lot of anxiety, so we feed into it. So we blow that up, but then the good we kind of downplay. And so now we have this lopsidedness. Or we could let the bad, again, nothing's really bad, but the negative emotion that happens flow through without denying it, accepting it. Okay, this doesn't feel good. Acknowledging it. Yes, self, I understand this does not feel good, but what am I able to do here in this moment that, one, will make me feel better? Anything I can do to put an end to how I'm feeling. If it's another person who's making me feel this way, am I able to shift my energy out of that? Am I able to not engage and feed my thoughts right now? And where are we sitting right now? And if we can turn the dial to something else, then we do that. Now, that doesn't mean that the feeling might still come up, but when it comes up, we're not feeding it, okay? And when something positive happens, are we totally seeing that for what it is and allowing ourselves to be open and receptive to it without still hanging on to a thought or a fear that the negativity is coming? Okay, because then we can't truly enjoy the beautiful moments that we're being handed here. And so the very thing that we're afraid of losing is at risk because we cannot be present and enjoying it. And so I do feel as though the message here is from your angels now coming through, as the message is, how are you perceiving your situation? Are you seeing the bigger picture? Because everything is going to be okay, specifically about the situation in which your biggest fear is right now about losing. And I think it could have triggered this part within you recently, because I do feel this means a lot to you. Creating this business, having success in this relationship, getting along with your business partners, because maybe there's been many attempts. And so, you really want something here to work out. And so I feel like you're very fearful of something here that I don't feel is going to come true at all. And the only way that your emotions could be completely triggered by something small happening is if we build it up and then we start experiencing towers, when in reality, it's not towers happening. Okay, it's our own buildup of something that is quite significant. So when we come back to reality, it seems bigger than it is. But when these setbacks, and really I just feel our setbacks happen, allow the setback to happen. Okay, and I know, sorry, just give me a second. My nose is dripping. When these setbacks happen, as my dog barks. Okay, when these setbacks happen, it is something that triggers something in you, is what your angels are telling you. Because maybe in the past, we've been traumatized, this is kind of like almost like a form of PTSD in some way of experience. Okay, and I'm not diagnosing anyone here. I'm just explaining. So when we have a little trigger of something, and I say little, but I mean, it could be on any degree, but when something reminds us or feels like the same degree of a disappointment that we've experienced, it sets us off on a path that is almost like an unstoppable fear of sorts that is uncontrollable. Okay, like a river of fire, I just heard, right? It's like gasoline, and then you just have a little spark and then the whole thing goes ablaze. I feel like this is what happens with you. It's like, let's say you're in, let's use the business partnership for a bit. And let's say you experience a partnership where maybe your business partner was shady and screwed you over. And maybe, you signed a contract with your business partner at some point, and they did something here that totally made you lose your trust. And maybe it was a certain phrase that they used. And so maybe after many years or whatever, you're attempting something again here. And now you meet another business partner here, and they use that same wording, or the same pattern kind of seems to be coming up. And now that's not saying don't be discerning, okay? Because I think you definitely learned your lesson, whatever that was. It doesn't have to be, like I said, this is just an example. But whatever happened, it is imprinted into your emotional field here. And so I feel like it triggers, just like the river of gasoline, it triggers something that I called like a PTSD of sorts, okay, that is very emotionally charged. And so now we're anticipating that this business partner is going to be shady and is going to be corrupt and is going to screw us over like the last one, okay? Now this could be anything. And what Spirit is saying is, it's not going to happen, okay? And I don't know your situation here. So, I mean, if you have a shoddy business deal, that's, you know, definitely if you know that it's shoddy, like that's going to be something you're going to have to trust your intuition. But for those of you guys resonating with this, because I think it's been proven to you, this is the thing, it's been proven to you time and time and time again that this situation is trustworthy, okay? And I feel like your spirit team and your spirit guides are kind of tired. I mean, they're never going to abandon you, but tired, because I feel like they've been putting in front of you this experience time and time again of the blessing. And you hang on to and blow up the parts that are life, because life sometimes isn't completely smooth. So when the little bits that aren't ideal, you know, if your business partner's late because they really truly got stuck in traffic, I mean, that's not good. If you were waiting for a meeting, then you say, I cannot trust this person. And you start to build on this, okay? But the reality is life happens. People get stuck in traffic. The business partner's intention was to be there on time for you. I think you know this, okay? Because I feel like this has happened. And this could be in any relationship situations coming up here, okay? And so I feel like you've developed something here that I feel is blowing something into the biggest fear, and it doesn't allow you to be harmonious with situations that are trying to be smooth, that are trying to find success with you, that are trying to build the stability here with you, okay? So with the check-in, I feel like you're needing to really look at, is how you're feeling justified based on the now situation? You know, if this person was never late and always showing up, and the one time they're late here, okay, is it a possibility or probability that they were legitimately stuck in traffic? To check this in, rather than spiral this into a narrative and then, you know, get into sort of a battle here with this person over something that's happened. Because I do feel we're making quite big sort of reactions to situations here that I don't feel outweigh or justified, okay? So I feel like we're not necessarily, with this High Priestess in reverse, we're not allowing ourselves to trust our own intuition on that specific situation. We're closed off to this because what we're acting out of, like I said, and I keep coming back to this PTSD, I feel as though we are instinctively acting out of an experience that's happened in the past. So we're not seeing what's in front of us, and we're reacting out of a past experience. And so it isn't allowing this experience to flourish to the best version of what it could be. And I feel like it keeps knocking it down back to ground zero. And it has to relearn your trust. And then it knocks it down to ground zero. And then it relearns your trust. And so I feel like this is kind of a no-win type situation, because eventually something more disappointing will happen, even if intentions are fully in line on both sides. And so you might want to extend the same thing on yourself, the human side on yourself. Many times you might have wanted to show up for another or to do the right thing, and maybe you were incapable for whatever circumstances, and it did not mean that you wanted to be shoddy, or it did not mean you wanted to create havoc for the other person. It did not mean all of the things and the nightmares here that you have, right? It just meant that you were victim of circumstance, of what was going on around you. And so we learn to compromise, and we learn to see the different sides, and then we find true beauty, because now we're finding the beauty in even the things that would have once been disappointing, but we overcame. So we build a stronger bond, right? If we understand that, back to that business partner who waited, whatever, 30 minutes in traffic, to find their way to you, saying, wow, this person was really dedicated, because instead of just turning back or saying, you know what, I'm just not going to make this meeting, they still managed to sit 30 minutes in traffic to make their way to me to have this meeting. How important is this person to me? How important is it that someone show up and still make it through an obstacle here and still be present? Okay, because I feel like this is what you have here, is someone or something here that is true and authentic. And so I feel like you are being sort of tested here, okay, by yourself, because I feel like you're your worst sort of enemy at seeing something here. And so you could choose to see it in a very poor light and run with that, and then dissolve what you've built and then have to kind of rebuild. Or you can see it in a way that spins it in a way of seeing what could be more the plausible scenario, okay? The most likely scenario here, without introducing the past experience into something here, or your worst case nightmares into here, okay? Because I feel like you are held back, and I feel like you're almost waiting to be proven something before you're able to then let loose in some way and flip the script, and now you're the other person or the situation here who's experiencing someone who is held back and restricted. And you might be constantly in this energy because just as something's about to unfold, something maybe disappoints you in some way, and so you're back to ground zero. So it's like impossible to allow you to open up or to trust. And so your energy becomes one that is restricted and held back and impossible to crack open, instead of allowing things to flow. Okay, now this doesn't mean not using discernment and just trusting the whole world willy-nilly, because we still have our intuition. And I think Spirit is saying, trust your intuition. It's there for a reason. You can make very good decisions here, and not everything has to be completely all in or completely devastating. That the reality of the world is generally somewhere in the middle. Although there is very bad things that happen in the world that we consider bad, and there's very, very positive things that we consider positive that happen in the world. And not all the time are we in polar extremes, that most of the time we're in the middle here, and that we can choose to sway our energy towards the positivity. And that when something does happen that's more in the negative, it's there to teach us something that we can use as tools to make it further for ourselves, okay? But to always be in the heart space, to always allow ourselves to show up from a heart space. Because if we show up from a heart space, regardless of what's going on around us, chances are what's going to go around us is going to be vibrating in that same energy of love. But if we're vibrating in a place that isn't, then that's what we're kind of attracting to us. So be kind of the energy you want to see around you. If you are anticipating and fearful, then you cause situations of fear and doubt to happen around you, more situations to be anxious. Yes, okay, let's read this Lapis Exaggerated. I don't know if I'm reading it right. This is a new deck, and I don't know what a lot of these mean at all because I've not read the book, and I just absolutely love these cards. So let us see. Lapis Exaggerated perspective. Absolutely. That's what we needed to see. A positive transformation is taking place within you through a union. That's what this card is, okay? This was in reverse with the Four of Wands, and this is definitely union. The Ring, okay? A marriage will take place either romantic or in business, coming together. Okay, a union of complementary opposites. Everything in life has its counterpart, and both can only exist together. In essence, like two sides of a coin, they are one. Oh my goodness. As you start to see and embrace both sides, you will find that an obstacle you have struggled with for a very long time is not insurmountable. It is a mountain of opportunity with a golden river flowing through it. As perceptions change, reality changes, and we can see the flowing tides of creative energy that is life. That is life. That is life. Beautiful ideas float through the universe in pathways of light, waiting for the perfect moment to be born. You are creating magic here, okay, in this situation. And I feel this hesitancy, but it's harmony. It's creating harmony here. And I feel like you've been blessed. I feel like you know you've been blessed in some way here with a situation that despite this thing that you're experiencing, okay, this complex of sorts, I feel like you're being gifted with an experience here of the universe having your back via through this person, via through this experience, despite your hang-ups here. Okay, so I know I always say I hate this time to lighten up card, because when people tell me to lighten up, it's like, how do I do that? I can't lighten up. If I'm feeling away, I'm feeling away. And so what Spirit is saying is, if you're feeling away, you're feeling away. That's absolutely fine. Okay, when you think about whatever it is that you're pondering, take a moment to check in. How do you feel about it? Do you feel lighter or heavier? Excited or filled with dread? Or filled with dread, not filled with dread. Pay attention to your inner guidance. It's always so helpful. So inner guidance, are we feeling this or this? And so as long as we know and we're present, then we could take control to change our perception. Do we want to continue feeling this way and feed it? Or can we shift and say, what is it about my situation that might be a plausible thing here that I'm not seeing, that I can keep and hold space for? Like the fact that maybe this person is actually genuinely late, but genuinely wanted to be there for me. It's more likely. Right? Now, we don't want to idolize something so much so that now all of a sudden when something happens, we completely implode. So is the middle ground, because I don't know, maybe you do the opposite, right? Maybe you're having these high expectations. And so at the slightest negative thing here, we kind of blow it out of proportion. So it's up to you how you see the situation, what you feed energetically to create the harmony here, which I feel is harmony coming through here, okay? And I feel like it could flow. It could flow if we're not held back. It could flow if we know how to allow ourselves to enjoy rather than stay in some sort of anxiety and fear. If we come from a heart space, then we surround ourselves from other energies that are coming from an authentic heart space as well. Okay, so see the bigger picture here. Don't get stuck in big disappointments. Okay, don't get surprised by big things that it's blowing something out that it's not. So you are in control of this, and this is what's going to create this harmony, because I think this is something you don't want to lose, you know, and there's only so much allowing yourself to be held back before, you know, this business partner example says, well, I can't create harmony with pile 2. No matter what I try, pile 2 doesn't trust me. No matter what I try, I keep disappointing pile 2. No matter what I do here, pile 2 is in a state of fear. No matter what I do, pile 2 isn't being open, allowing me to see what they're thinking or feeling. And so it's only a matter of time before self-fulfilling prophecy happens here, okay? But that's not what's happening right now, and I feel like you need to see this, okay? See the situation for what it is here, because I think you're being tested here in order for you to identify this. So this is what your spirit team is wanting you to know. This is very interesting reading. Let me know in the comments. If you're drawn to another pile, I will see you there. And I love you guys very, very much. Thank you for finding me. I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my most beautiful pile 3. Sorry for that fumbly intro. Very interesting energy I'm sitting with here. So we're looking at pile 3, and what we really wanted to know was, what are your angel spirit guides, your spirit team and angels trying to communicate to you? What message are they wanting you to know? And so this is coming from your angels and your spirit team. You guys pick the Diva Magic 42, could be significant, or the number 6, and then we have the lock. Okay, so I did tell pile 1 that I was feeling a very strong pull to 3, because there were several interlapping synchronicities as for my readings, those of you guys who have been here know that my readings generally tend to be connected in one way or another. So I highly recommend, if you were torn between 1 and 3, you go check out 1 and see if it resonates, okay? You don't have to if it didn't pull you, but I do ask that you listen to that if this is something here. And I will know right away if it's tied in some way, because energetically I will feel it. But I just kind of wanted to welcome pile 1 if you guys made your way here. Then let's take a look. So these cards are new, and I'm not too familiar with a lot of the book definitions, but I will be reading mostly intuitive here. And then we shuffled the oracle cards. I've not looked at them. I didn't pull too many this time because I'm trying to pull less cards and really tap more into energy if I can. So I realize I take a lot of time laying the cards out. So this is kind of my own goal. And then we'll pull some tarot as well. And I am so super excited. Oh, interesting. I'm super excited to use these cards because they're brand new. I use them in 1 and 2. You guys are my last pile, and I got these on Etsy. They're called the Tarot of Oneness by Robin Voisey, and I gotta tell you guys, I am so in love with these cards. Like, they're making me smile. I love these cards so much. Like, they're probably my favorite cards right now, and I don't say that generally lightly because I have so many that I love, but you will see these are beautiful. And let's get into your reading. Okay, so what am I picking up here? I think there's something major. There's something major here that maybe I feel we have not yet been able to unlock or see. Something significant, I think, here, and maybe we just have not uncovered it yet is kind of what I feel here. Okay, let's see. Not too much is coming through here, so hopefully we can get what this is about. So we have the Emperor. Oh my goodness. Aries energy, divine masculine. It says Archangel Michael. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership. Okay, and then we have 20 with renewal. This is the Judgment. Archangel Jeremiel. It says review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts, time to move in a new direction. So don't pay too much attention to words so much as energy here, okay? Although I do take words into consideration, we're more reading energy. The Judgment is all about awakening and reevaluation. Okay, review and evaluate here. I think there is a need to reevaluate something here. And I'm getting re-evaluate, not necessarily evaluate. I'm getting re-evaluate. Okay, so 2 of Earth. This is the 2 of Pentacles. It says too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. Okay. We have the Wheel. It says indecisiveness. Allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. Okay, Wheel. I'm getting Wheel of Fortune, though, from this. And indecisiveness. Okay. We have chair empty. Someone is leaving your life. I'm getting Emperor here from this chair. Looks like an Emperor chair. Okay. I'm getting more your energy here than I am anything else. And we have broken wishbone. Wish will not be granted. Like I said, not too much weight on the words. Okay, broken wishbone, wish will not be granted. Okay, we have 44 with synchronicities, or the number 8. Allow the magic to unfold as synchronistic events lead you in a new direction. Interesting, because pile 1, we got this, which I could barely say, synchrotron. I don't know, it just sounds so funny. I'm not saying it right. Synchrotron. Okay, so now we got synchronicities, which is interesting. Allow the magic to unfold as synchronistic events lead you in a new direction. So we got new direction here. We got new direction here. Okay, this is all about direction with the Wheel. And we have boundaries, 28, or the number 10. 10 is all about preparing for a new beginning. So would stand to reason, a new direction here. You are learning the gentle art of setting boundaries and saying no. Okie dokie. The lock is certainly about boundaries, locking something out here, and then choice, being at a crossroads. You're being asked to make a choice. That's what this Two of Pentacles is, that you've been struggling with. It's time to decide which path you're going to take. Listen to your intuition, eliminate everyone else's input, and feel your way into the choice that is right for you. The time is now. Kind of getting, this is the type of situation where you ask a million people for their advice and you get a million different answers to something that is needing to be worked on your own. Okay, so definitely leaning in on your own intuition. I want to make sure this is in frame. Perfect. Okay, let's pull the tarot. Okay, let's pull the tarot. You guys will see how beautiful these cards are. I'm going to ask Spirit for a clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile 3, Spirit. Thank you so much. We are so blessed for this message. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. And thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into this energy and the energy around you at this time. Thank you so much. All right, spirits, please protect us as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Can we please get, what are their angels and their spirit guide team wanting pile 3 to know right here, right now? What is this message about? Clear and concise message, Spirit. What are they wanting pile 3 to know about? Thank you so much. Okay, so we have the 10 of Pentacles. Wow, look at that. 10 of Pentacles. Okay. How beautiful these cards are. We have the embodiment of Pentacles. This is the King of Pentacles in a traditional tarot. Embodiment of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, you guys. Do you feel this energy? Amazing. Okay. King of Pentacles is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. Lots of earth coming through here. And like I said, there's also Aries. We have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so much Pentacles coming in. And we have the 9 of Swords. This is anxiety. 9 of Swords. Okay. So I'm jumping out. We have the 2 of Cups. Balance, give and take, partnership, romance, love. Okay, right under the 2 of Earth. So 2 is definitely about balance and partnership. And could be choice here, okay? So we have the 8 of Cups. Look at that. Scissors cutting the cord, 8 of Cups. Okay, I'm going to pull one more. We have the higher self coming through here, the spiral. Okay, this is a special card in this tarot. I think they have maybe about 5 or 6 cards after the world. This is the one right after the world. And as we know, higher self is a part of ourselves that knows better. Okay, that's kind of in the 5D self that is connected to spirit. Okay, so let me sit with this energy for a little bit before I intuit what I'm seeing here. And we may read this Diva Magic at some point if we need to. But I'm going to see what I see here, okay? So give me a moment. So far, I'm not really feeling the tie to 1, but let's see. I don't know what the heart of the message is yet, but this is kind of how I felt with 2 until we got there. So I'm going to read what it is that I see already, which is something you probably already know. Okay, to see what comes through as I go on with the reading, as I channel, because I think your spirit team's not wanting to tell you something maybe that's already just out in the open. I feel there's always a message you're needing to hear in some way, okay? Although you probably already know in a higher intuitive level, I feel like what I'm about to say is something you're probably already aware of. Maybe not. But anyway, okay. Enough editorializing. I feel like I'm editorializing a lot here. Okay. So what I'm seeing here, I feel as though there is an energy of you feeling a little bit like you're in a situation that you're unable to have any sort of say or control over. Although I feel you know you do. I feel you know you do. And I feel like you know that you can make a choice here. But I feel like you almost feel as though there's no control over a positive aspect of what you were feeling on an intuitive level here, that you felt very guided and connected to. And I feel as though you're experiencing sort of everything around you that is pointing you towards something new. So I hope this makes sense, because I feel as though the situation here is a world of something that is quite spectacular. And I feel like you're being shut out, or you feel as though you're shut out, that there is nothing you're able to do, and that you are being sort of moving from a situation that you feel like you are unable to have any control or engagement or involvement, because your mind is seeing something, okay? Your mind is saying, all of these things were true, then I'd be able to make an impact, or this, and this would happen. So you come to some sort of judgment about a situation that I feel is premature. And so I feel like you lay some sort of idea boundary by shutting something out. And so you feel shut out. This is so layered. Oh my goodness. You feel shut out. But I don't think you are shut out. And so I think you feel shut out. And so you lay a boundary because you feel shut out. But now you're shutting something out. And you feel like this decision is kind of out of your hands in some way, that you're only forced to go down one path. That is the path you're being called to go down, based on what you've instinctually or in your mind have created. But where that message is coming from is an anxiety within you. So when we listen to anxiety, it is loud. It comes from fear, and it's always in a rush. It's always, we have to do this. It's very heavily charged. That is anxiety. That is listening to fear. Okay? This is how we know the difference between our intuition and listening to our fear and an anxiety. And when we listen to the intuition, it's soft. It's when it's not rushed. It's the part of you that says, it's more like a statement. It tells you something. It doesn't need you to hurry up in any sort of way. Your intuition is softer than your anxiety. So that's why sometimes we don't hear it, especially when we're being drowned out by fear and anxiety. That's the voice we hear. And like I said, it's always in a rush. It wants us to do something. That's because fear is anxious. It's fight or flight, where intuition is not in a rush, and it tells us something. So I think you're being asked to reevaluate the situation that you feel you've been shut out from, or that is not open to you. You locked yourself out, okay? And I know that might be tough to hear, but I feel as though the universe was wanting to give you an experience here. I'm feeling very much Wheel of Fortune. This is destiny. This is things happening, allowing things to flow. But when we let our fear kind of steer, and this is in the middle, and that rhymed. Okay, fear steer. And this could be because of a fact that it could be a defense mechanism. Okay, it's like we automatically shut something down in order to protect ourselves in some way, instead of going down a path and then, obviously, I mean, that's what our intuition's there for. We don't want to waste a bunch of time. I say waste, nothing's ever really a waste because we experience, but we don't want to waste a whole bunch of time learning a lesson we already have learned, right? So we could interfere in our own experiences by saying, no, what I'd experience here is something I'm not interested in. Meanwhile, there's a whole world here waiting, destiny is waiting for us to experience, because it's so different than anything we've ever experienced. But we already shut ourselves out because we saw something that we thought was telling us no, that we made a quick judgment act because it seemed a little bit out of our control. It didn't go in the way we had wanted or expected because we were very fixed in the way we are. If we're very emperor energy, we could say it could be this or that. And so we then run with that decision, right? Because emperor tends to sometimes have a difficult time saying this and that could be true. Let me sit back here and observe. Emperor takes action and sometimes could be premature. And this is what I think happened. The action to prematurely make a decision about something because it was up in the air, because it wasn't certain, because it was causing some sort of, an indecision of sorts here. It was causing uncertainty. And so when we see uncertainty, instead of sitting with uncertainty, we could be someone who is very decisive. And so it could be very challenging to sit with uncertainty. And we could have the complex of someone who cannot sit in uncertainty. And what your angels are saying is sometimes it is very important for us to observe and not do anything. Stillness. And trust me, this might be my pile. I don't know, because I have a very hard time sitting still observing, specifically when things are up in the air, because I'm a doer. Okay, now I'm not turning it about me, but this is how I can relate to this message. To say, if you're a very decisive person, if you're a take action person, if you like to make things happen, and I'm not saying that you are trying to control the universe so much as wherever you can have control, you take control and make things happen. But this lesson that you're fated to learn here is exactly that, is you don't have control here. The universe does. And sometimes things are up in the air. And so there is a decision here that obviously you could still make. I mean, they're not saying you don't have any decision, but I think your decision might be premature based on shutting something out here because of an idea in your mind that you have, that I think your higher self and with synchronicities here, I think your dreams, your intuition, your signs, everything you've been seeing has been your intuition screaming to you in the best way intuition does, because again, intuition's quiet. It's not very loud, but I feel like screaming to you because I think they're very heavy synchronicities, heavy dreams, symbols, all pointing to the same thing here, all aligning with the higher self and the knowledge, taking you to this. Okay, but I feel like in the 3D world, you didn't see what you're needing to see, and so we shut out this and say, well, I guess these synchronicities and this higher self and all of this stuff that I was being fed intuitively might have just been whatever we chalk it up to, because we're going to shut it out. Okay. And, we don't want to shut out our higher self and what we're seeing, because we have a connection here with spirit. So we're always wanting to welcome what it is. But I feel like in this case, the more we were open to this, the more up in the air we felt and indecisive. And so I felt like there's this complex here, okay, because it was making us very uncomfortable. And this is what this aimlessly thing is here, because we're needing to experience this And I don't think that Spirit's wanting you to experience pain and suffering for just any reason. But the experience of this allows you to balance yourself, to not be so emperor with this empty chair. You know, that it's emperor or nothing. What is the observer of pile 3 like? What sort of blessing are you able to bring into your world if you were someone who could be emperor, but also someone who could be observant? Somebody who can also be still. Somebody who can also allow things to be uncertain for a period of time without shutting it down and closing ourselves off and writing it off as something that's just done. It's not filling these, these specific requirements that I'm needing to see. So we concluded something here. Okay, so I haven't even touched this yet. So I feel like there was mega disappointment. And I feel the mega disappointment here was feeling like the universe did not deliver, because our intuition was seeing and feeling something. We knew, we saw, we felt heavy and saw it in our mind's eye and felt a heavy connection to something. But in reality, I feel it was nothing that was concrete. And this happens with people who are very intuitive because they're very connected to spirit. And sometimes we see potential, and that's all it is potential. And so we could commit ourselves to potential, and we could really put a lot of weight in potential, and then be completely devastated and disappointed here when it leads us somewhere where it never really panned out in some way. So I feel like it is a protective mechanism in some way. But what Spirit is showing here, the message. 10 of Pentacles, embodiment of Pentacles. This is the King of Pentacles. This is long-term building of stability, commitment, our legacy, security. This is like the lottery win of the tarot. And side by side, this is something very solid for a long lifetime of abundance here in a practical way. Very, very solid. Okay. Family life, father, family. And so I feel like what we've experienced with this 3 of Pentacles in reverse is the universe not being decisive. Whatever we wanted to work on, whatever we were trying to make happen was not happening. Okay, so if we were trying to work with someone, it wasn't happening. We were trying to build something, we didn't have what we needed. So we wrote it off. I mean, what can we do? You know, someone can't show up here, you can't work with them. If you don't have the thing you need, you lock it out. But I feel like there's an extreme of locking something out and allowing it to sit in some sort of indecisive space here in order to give it space to breathe. Okay, because I feel like we were quick with boundaries. And I feel like the boundary could have been something that you mentally or put in place in some way, or painted a picture of a situation here where you painted it in some sort of color here, okay? Because I feel like the anxiety with this 9 of Swords was one that you were feeling sitting in the unknown, sitting up in the air. And so I feel like we feel more secure and we feel more stable when we shut something out and put the boundary in and move on from it. So I feel like this situation is one that is able to be in a balanced give and take here, okay, with this 2 of Cups. This is a partnership. This is 2 people able to give and take. This is us being able to receive love and give love, okay? And this is all about partnership. Okay, so the choice for partnership here, the choice for things to become balanced, I think is and has been there. But I feel like there was a lot of anxiety about the more practical know-how of making something happen here, that we shut something out completely. Because this is Pentacles and this is Cups. So I feel like emotions here, okay, this is emotions with the Cups. And then I feel like the practical side was kind of on another sort of spectrum here, I guess, if you will. And so I feel like because we weren't finding a balance of seeing something in a practical way that maybe we're very used to as an emperor, again, the doer, we wrote something off even though there was a lot of love and even though there was something very right about this, okay? So I feel like you cut something off with this Eight of Cups. And you cut it off in order for you to go and find what it is that you feel would be something that you want to experience here with this Eight of Cups. I feel it was premature. I really do. And we have this one little cord still hanging on here. I feel like whatever this is still not completely done. And I feel like you're just about to sever this cord because of the fact that you're up in the air. And no matter how strong your intuition is screaming synchronicities at you and your higher self knows better and that there is a lot of emotions here, we're keep falling back on something that we're used to seeing in a practical way that hasn't yet made itself visible. And so we're about to cut this cord. And so, and walk away from what this is. And so Spirit in your spirit team is saying, your angels, to reevaluate a certain part of something here that might appear on the surface to not be working out in a practical way because things are aligning, because things are not yet defined here. It does not mean that you have to engage, but it also does not mean you have to cut it out. That there is a promise here of something that is very long-standing. And like I said, this is the lottery win, okay? Because this is a lifetime of support, a lifetime of stability, a lifetime of happiness, security. It's the real deal, I heard here with the embodiment of Pentacles. It's the real deal. It's the real deal. But we didn't see it, so we brushed over it, okay? And so I feel as though it's not too late here. And maybe this is why this angel message was coming out, was to tell you, wait before you cut this cord. And maybe you feel like you've been up in the air too long. But too long for who? Because again, is this your own timing, ego's timing, or is this divine timing with the Wheel of Fortune? Because things need to align in all aspects of a situation, especially something that is panning out like this. But the universe doesn't struggle to make things happen. The universe knows exactly what it's doing and takes as long as it needs to take in order for things to unfold the way it should. Things need to align the way they should. But I feel like more it's an experience of you needing to go through something here to find out, are you so much in an emperor energy here of shutting things out in your life here by coming to conclusions where we paint the brush of our own sort of idea because anxiety is loud, because it makes it easier for us to sit in certainty than it does in uncertainty. And I know sitting in uncertainty, trust me, is not fun. So why? Why is this happening? I feel like this is for you to trust in the divine and that you don't have a whole bunch of control here, especially when it comes to, magical things here that are really driven by the divine. That an emperor can't just go out and, create a lottery win of a relationship, can't just create something here out of some force to make happen. It's divine intervention. It's being divinely guided here. It is so intricate. So intricate here. This is the magic of life. Okay, and so we're simplifying it by saying it's either this or it's not. And I don't think that's how it should be. And I know this message is not probably for everyone, but that's how this is coming through. So I feel like Spirit wants you to know that there's still a choice here for you to not block something out. Certainly, don't keep yourself sort of waiting around for another shoe to drop here in a situation, but be open to understanding you're getting synchronicities. And this is how you know if you're getting synchronicities and tied to a higher self, that there is something here and you just weren't seeing it. Okay, that there's a reason why this was coming to you. It wasn't spirit trying to throw you in a different direction. There's a reason why. And throughout this, we're reevaluating certain parts of who we are as well, and how we show up, and how we might make judgment and pass judgment on situations here. That might be a whole world that we don't see because we're too focused on other things in a way, okay? So we could avoid massive disappointment here. And you might be thinking that what you wanted, what you felt Spirit was delivering here hasn't happened and is not happening. And Spirit is saying it is happening. Beautiful pile 3, it's happening. Happening, happening, happening. You know it was happening. It's supposed to happen. Okay, so you could still lay boundaries because I feel that's very important. But there is no need for you to be in your anxious energy here, okay? There's no need for you to be anxious about this. So there's a need for you to find a balance, okay? That's why we're seeing 2 of Cups, the 2 of Earth. I mean, choice is all about 2s as well. This is finding a balance rather than being imbalanced. How do we sit in uncertainty? Still peaceful, able to say something is uncertain. The situation hasn't unfolded, but this has nothing to do with my own ability to make decisions, my own ability to control things when I can, and when I cannot, I surrender to the universe. I allow what is without shutting things out, without coming to conclusions, without eliminating things from my life here that might result in something that is absolutely fab. Okay, so this is a very long message. I do apologize. Let's read this Diva Magic because, like I said, I don't know any of these cards here because they are fairly new to me. And I like to see what we see here that might or might not be part of this full message that I just delivered. Okay, so Diva Magic, incredibly small. Okay, nanoparticles exist in strange invisible realms. We cannot see them because they are so incredibly small, and yet these invisible objects hold immense power that influences and shapes our world. There is a visible reality and an invisible one. Yes, both are equally real. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, both are equally real, not just what we're seeing here, okay, in the practical way. Within the strange world of nanoparticles, there are worlds within flower cups, cities in buds, and universes in dewdrops. This card is asking you to look again. Something you've discounted or considered irrelevant may hold great potential and power. Power indeed. Oh my goodness. Goosebumps. Infinite possibility exists in each atom of my being. Every particle of light is a seed of creation. A nanoparticle can become an endless sea of creativity. My life is a universe within a universe within a universe. Okay. Thank you, spirits. It is coming through. I'm getting a weird head rush as well. Okay, so look again, reevaluate, okay? And like I said, maybe, you know, it was something here that, I don't know necessarily that it was so small, though. That's the thing. I don't feel it was small, but I feel like it's definitely something you're supposed to look again, that has a big world within it, that I feel you discounted. And maybe we feel like, I feel there is a major disappointment here, okay? But maybe what Spirit's showing is that this 3 of Pentacles is such a small part, even though it seems like a big part to us, you know, because 3 of Pentacles is working together, being able to create. And when this is taken away from us, when we don't see it, especially as an Emperor, we only have really one choice, is kind of what I feel. So maybe this is a message for me. I feel like there's only one choice. And there's not. And Spirit's saying there's not. There's a choice to be in the stillness, to allow things to unfold without locking it out. Just because this is not happening doesn't mean this isn't happening. Doesn't mean this isn't happening. Doesn't mean this has to happen. It's very extreme. Okay, and I think our higher self knows that there is something great here. And so how do we sit in a reverse Three of Pentacles without feeling anxious? Allowing the divine to take the wheel, allowing spirit to unfold as it does, because there's a whole world here for us to experience. Being present in the uncomfortableness, being present in the uncertainty in some way here by allowing things to unfold. So I am going to pull 3 cards here because I'm still feeling a little bit, I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit like it's a challenge here when we have a 3 of Pentacles in reverse. So, spirits, thank you so much for this message. Can I please get just 3 cards for further clarity here for pile 3? Any question they might still have in regards to this beautiful message from their angels and spirits team. Clarity, certainty for pile 3 in regards to any questions they still have regarding this message that they're needing to hear. Can we go a little bit deeper? Anything I've missed? That's going to provide a level of clarity here for pile 3. Thank you so, so much. We have the Hierophant, and it is in reverse. Hierophant in reverse. Okay. 2 keys. Interesting because the key came out in pile 1. I don't know how pile 1 is connected. It could certainly be for you guys, okay? Because I'm still feeling it's connected energetically, but I don't see the tie in any way. I don't see it in any way here, but I don't know. Pile 1's coming through here. Okay, so the Hierophant is Taurus energy. We have the Inspiration of Swords. And this is the Page of Swords in reverse. 3 of Wands. Look how beautiful these cards are. I do feel one more. One more, Spirit. Thank you so much. Okay, well, we got 2 more. We have the Spirit of Swords. This is the Queen of Swords. And then we have the 2 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Swords, swords, swords. Emperor and Swords. Doesn't surprise me. Because masculine energy is all about mind here in some way, okay? So we got swords, swords, and swords. And then we have Hierophant and the 3 of Wands. So what do we see here? Okay, so the Hierophant here is all about what we value, okay? This is a higher level learning, our ideology, what we commit to. And so I feel like there is a very fixed way about you here that I was picking up, because it's either this or it isn't, is kind of what I was getting, okay? It's either this or it isn't. And because we saw something in some way, we dismissed it, we discounted it. And so this is reverse Hierophant for me, because it isn't being brought and open into our perspective, our ideology of how we can be more open and how we could live life more open rather than passing some sort of judgment here, that we don't know everything here. We reevaluate our values. Okay, and so I feel here with this this Page of Swords, that's exactly needing to reevaluate here, to re-examine. The Page of Swords is all about learning. The Hierophant is all about learning. So, but we're learning about ourselves. We're learning where we put our value. We're learning more about, with the key here, solutions. How to be more, finding solutions to make ourselves live a more happy life here, more in line with things that we can value, rather than being very fixed in our ways. So I feel like there's a need for you to reevaluate that part of yourself, okay? Are we very fixed or are we workable? And here I have the 3 gears, which is giving me 3 of Pentacles. In order to work with things a little bit better, work with people a little bit better. And maybe this is why this 3 of Pentacles never really happened in some way, okay? Because we needed to experience, I was going to say conflict, but friction. When it comes to 3 of Pentacles, I feel, in order for us to really evaluate something here that I think we were brushing over. We weren't seeing. And so when we acknowledge this, when we say, have I been living my life in a way here that's been very fixed and closed? Or have I been open to learning something new about myself and how I could explore certain parts of myself so I can work better, you know, within this world? So when things are indecisive or up in the air, I don't shut out or close out or make a judgment or pass judgment. I allow things to be in a way, let them unfold in a way, and feel comfortable and not anxious. I don't move out of that energy. I allow myself to sit in this energy more comfortably because this allows me to expand as an individual, how I work with others. It allows me to ascend, move forward in life. I'm not fixed and stuck in a way of being that I've always been. So now I have more certainty. I have more clarity about who I am. And that other situations around me that are unclear, that have not resulted in a 3 of Pentacles, doesn't define what I know about myself, doesn't minimize my experience. I'm still confident in my experience, my knowledge, my wisdom, my ability to be certain about what I want and who I am. Okay? Without having to shut something out here. And so I feel like the 2 of Swords is speaking about this, again, this indecision, because the 2 of Swords is sometimes where we sit without making a decision. There we have the 2 keys again hanging. Okay, and then like I said, the key came out for pile 1. The intricate key in pile 1. So yeah, and because this lock was very intricate, that's how we tied it all back to 3. So choice. Okay, and this was sitting like this, 2 of Swords in reverse. So I feel like you feel maybe pressured. It's either this or that. And the universe is saying sometimes sitting without making a choice, allowing the universe to unfold, doing everything we can on our end, but without trying to fix some sort of outcome here or cutting it out, we're still allowing things to unfold, because the 2 of Swords in reverse to me is always where we don't make a decision and the universe unfolds in a way and a decision is made. And in this case, the decision being made is that 10 of Pentacles and that King of Pentacles, which is a lifetime lottery win of something here, okay? So I feel like you've been faced with a decision and there's been a lot of indecision here. And I feel like you, instead of sitting with indecision, instead of sitting with the situation, I think you shut it out. Mentally, energetically, maybe you cut cords in some way, but I feel like there's still a cord, like I said. So maybe you haven't completely shut it out, and that's what this message is that you're expanding, you're growing. There's going to be a future here, okay? A beautiful, expansive future. And that this lesson is one of you trusting your own experience, but by questioning yourself and how you've been kind of living your life and showing up in a way. That with the 2 keys here, that there's always different ways of doing things. That 2 things could be right, even though they might be 2 different ways of being here, okay? And then the 2 ways of being right is we can make something happen, or we could sit in silence and stillness and allow the universe to unfold. We don't have to only choose one way or shut something out, okay? I hope this is making sense for you guys. It's certainly making sense for me, because I'm the first to cut things out here if they don't make sense to me, okay? But that would then stand to reason that we think we know more than the universe in some way here, okay? And we probably do know and experience certain things, but we don't know more than the universe. We don't see a big picture happening because we're only privy to seeing what we see. And so it doesn't take away from our experience, but it allows us to work better with the universe here and show up differently here. But we have to question everything in regards to how we're showing up here. Okay, because I do feel like there's forward movement here and progress in something here that's been really difficult for you to sit in this sort of no man's land, I feel. And so all these 2s definitely coming out, you know, like trying to find balance has been huge for you. And sometimes we get very seasick when we're imbalanced. but we don't have to energetically charge it so much so that we feel imbalanced. So, pile number 3. I think this is the message coming through for you. I am getting a message here as well. If you've already cut cords of something completely, it could very well be that the situation was teaching you a way to be here. And rather than sitting in discomfort, you might have already prematurely made a decision that you might not be able to take back. But that there will be further opportunity for you to expand and to experience this again, but to recognize when this comes again. Because for some of you guys, I feel like you've already cut that cord. And that whatever the situation is now gone. Whatever was supposed to kind of be here didn't happen, and it didn't happen the way it was not supposed to happen in order for a new situation to come in, for you to recognize this. Okay, but how I feel the difference, how you'll know, is if you were really seeing synchronicities and tied to higher self, I feel like the right situation is going to be very heavy with synchronicities and higher self, so much so that you see it and believe it in your mind and heart and soul, but in front of you in the practical world, it wasn't showing up. And I feel like you chose to see the one thing to base your decision on here, okay? And that's when you know that you probably still haven't fully cut a cord, and that is panning out for you. But if you weren't seeing these heavy synchronicities, dreams, these symbols, and you weren't feeling it so energetically charged so much, then maybe a situation has presented itself here that needed to exit, because you will be faced with something here that is quite profound, that is going to make you use your experience in this situation in order for you to see a situation different, to see yourself differently, in order for there to be progress for you, learning differently about who you are and how you can show up, and now make a different choice that you didn't make in the past, to re-evaluate yourself differently, situations differently, so you get different outcomes here. And then when things are uncertain and up in the air, that we don't have to lock ourselves out, and we know and we could trust in the synchronicities in our higher self, that there is a greater world that needs to still develop, but we can still live our life, make decisions, put boundaries where we need to, but we don't need to completely shut out things, okay? Let the energy flow, not get in the way, not feel like we have to control things so much so where we lock it out or dismiss it completely. That would be reverse Hierophant, okay? This is what I have. I think that is sufficient. Very interesting readings. Sorry for the long reading. I do love you guys so, so much. I'm so glad you could be here. Go check another pile if you felt called to do so, and I will see you soon. Bye.